and can you go on full screen mode, please?
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Okay, thanks Ian for introduction, and thanks again to all the attendees for your time today to attend this wonderful webinar. I'm Lim from Trina Solar. I'm handling the product and marketing for Trina Solar Asia Pacific. So today I'll take the opportunity to run everyone through Trina Solar as a company, and also our range of product portfolio that is targeted for the different solar segments. I'll start off with a brief introduction. So this is our milestones of Trina Solar as a company. We are founded in 1997, so we have more than 20 years of experience in solar module manufacturing. Along the way, we have achieved multiple milestones in our last 20 years of journey. So one of the most significant will be in 2020, where we have registered ourselves onto the Shanghai Star Market, and also started the new era of 600 watt plus ultra high power modules. So in terms of our global footprint, we have shipped more than 70 gigawatt worldwide, and are serving more than 100 customers on a global basis. So myself, I'm based in Singapore, which is also our Asia Pacific HQ. So from there, we are supporting basically the ASEAN region, India, Australia, Korea. So in terms of reliable brand, so we are ranked 6 times in a row over the last 6 years as the top most bankable module supplier by Bloomberg New Energy Finance. In terms of shipment in Asia Pacific, over the last 3 years, we have shipped almost 9 gigawatt. So this is from 2017 2020. So we include 2021, that will be another additional of 3 plus 4 gigawatt of shipment just in Asia Pacific alone. So we are definitely one of the top 3 suppliers in this region. So in terms of technology wise, since early last year, we have launched our 210 Vertex ultra high power modules. So this is already in mass production and supplying to a broad base of customers. So for N-type iTopCon itself, we are also looking at the mass production level. So it's a combination of production level and also on cost optimization before we think that it will be widely adopted by the industry. And at the same time, we also have our advanced HTT technology, which is currently in research, and we are targeting to have that also very soon. So just to look back on how module power has developed over the last 10 years. So you can see in 2009, for a mono module, there's only about 290 watts. But 10 years down the road, starting from 2020, where we first saw the 500 watt modules using 210 cell size. Then from there, over the last 1 plus to 2 years, we see the module power has increased tremendously by almost up to about 200 watts. So this is made possible by the use of different technologies which we incorporated into our solar module. When we first started the 600 watt plus era, there was only about 30 plus companies inside this ecological alliance. But 1 year down the road, we see that the companies have increased to almost 90 companies. So they are covering from upstream, downstream in terms of the system design and also on the certification organization. So it is very clear that the whole trend at the industry is moving towards higher power bin modules, which will clearly bring much benefits the system level costing and also on the power generation. So this is our complete Trina Vertex family. So you can see here, starting from the left, we have our Vertex S module, which is targeted for residential market. Then in the center, we have the 18 series, 19 series, and 20 series. So these can all be used for commercial industrial rooftops. And also we have our bigger size, highest power module, 21 series, which is up to about 670 watt. So targeted for large rooftops and also for ground-mounted utility projects. So these are some of the technologies that we have put into our solar module. So starting from the top left corner, you will see that we are using the largest wafer size in the market now, which is a 210. And to match with this 210 wafer size, we have also been using 12 bus bar. Then on the top right is our non-destructive cutting method. So as you know, now most of the modules are coming with half cut cell. So we have upgraded our cutting technology to match with the usage of larger dimension cells so that we can maintain a similar mechanical integrity, loading capabilities as compared to non-cut full cell. So also we introduced the high density interconnection technology, which is to minimize the space between each cell so that we can reduce and optimize overall dimension of our module. So this is our flagship product, our highest power bin, 21 series up to 670 watt. So you can see we have incorporated all the technologies mentioned in the previous slide. So this is about a 2.3 by 1.3 dimension, weight about 38.7 kg for a double glass bifacial type. So you can see as we compare to others in the market, we have much higher power bin. At the same time, because of our unique design, low voltage, high current, we are also able to connect more modules per string. So this will also translate to savings at the system level. So we have worked with Fraunhofer, a third-party agency, to do a value assessment of the Vertex module. So these are two project sites that we have selected, one in Germany and one in Spain. So for Germany, it's a 10 megawatt monofacial fixed tube, and for Spain, it's a 50 megawatt bifacial one portrait tracker. So you can see from the assessment results, as compared to a lower power bin of maybe 540, there's significant cost savings in terms both at the box level and also at the LCOE. So depending on the configuration, even for both fixed tube and tracker, we still see savings at both different scenarios. So where are all the cost savings coming from? So first, we can see that the cost savings will be coming from the mounting installation because of the higher power bin of the module. In the overall same size project, we actually use much less number of modules. So this will translate less number of modules to install and reduction in the overall structural cost. And also at the same time, we are able to increase the single string power by almost 32%. So this will also reduce the DC cable costs and also the connectors costs. So overall, this will help us reduce the BOS cost and translate to lower LCOE. So this is for large scale projects. So we also compare for commercial industrial rooftops. So you can see here, this is based on rooftop projects as we compare across the different power bins, 545, 595, and 655. So you can see the modules per string is higher as compared to the 545, and we also have a higher string power. So similarly, because of the higher power bin, so we can see less number of modules we use in the installation, and this also translates to less strings, less connectors, shorter DC cable use, and less mounting. So all these parameters will help us to see the cost savings. And similarly, because of the less number of modules used, the mounting structures, accessories are also reduced. And this is just an example of an overview layout of how we can lay the larger size modules onto the rooftop in terms of the space savings. So these are just some of the details of the detailed calculation. So we can see that the BOS savings for this particular case study can be up to about 0.9 US cents per watt. So when we first launched the larger dimension modules, high power modules, there was a lot of questions from different voices of the industry. So for Trina here, we are absolutely have confidence in our Trina module reliability. So we have done various tests to show how robust and how reliable the Trina Vertex module is despite the larger dimension. So we have a R&D team that we have done our product optimization design. So we can see that our 670 watt module is about 4.6% longer than a 182/72 cell, but 3.4% shorter compared to the 78 cell. So to accommodate this larger dimension, we have also improved our frame design, both in terms of thickness and also the chamfer width. So all this has been vigorously tested to make sure that the large dimension modules is able to maintain the same mechanical loading capabilities. So besides the standard static load test, we have also performed 5 other enhanced tests. So namely, there is the non-uniform load, the static load under extreme temperature, hill impact test, enhanced dynamic load test, and also the wind test. So all these are done using our largest module, which is the 21 series. So in terms of static load wise, it's the same level as traditional module. So you can see for fixed tilt, we are able to maintain the 5,400 Pascal front and 2,400 Pascal back. And for tracker, depending on the design, we can accumulate up to 2,400 Pascal front and back. So after the load itself, we see there's no significant damage to the module under the PL image. So besides that, we have also done the hill impact test. So you can see the standard IC test size is 25 mm. We have increased up to about 35 mm and performed the test at the depth level. So you can see this is how it's being done, where the ice ball is hit onto the module and we don't see any significant damage to the glass or the module after the test. So on top of this, we have also done the enhanced dynamic load test, which is the plus minus 1,000 Pascal at 20,000 cycles. So this is about 7.5 times IC standard for single glass backsheet module and 4 times the standard for dual glass module. So even at the end of 20,000 cycles, we do not see any significant damage to the modules. And when we measure the flash test, the power degradation is only about 0.1%. So one of the most exciting tests that we have also performed is an extreme wind tunnel test. So this is the method, this is one of the tests that we use to verify the mechanical stability. So for this particular test, we apply the wind load from 30 meters per second all the way up to 62 meters per second with a duration of 30 seconds each. So you can see up to about 53 meters per second wind speed for the installation method of screw and hybrid, which is screw plus clamp. We can see the Trina modules is able to pass the test. So as mentioned, this is a larger dimension module. So on the left is our conventional packing method, which is the two horizontal stack method. So on the right is our new innovative packing method, where the modules will place vertically inside the carton box. So this is how it will look like inside a 40 container. So we can see that although the total numbers of pallets per container are reduced, but because of the higher power, which is about more than 100 watt higher as compared to others, we're actually able to pack more power per container. So these are some examples of the projects that we have already delivered with the 21 series. So this is one project in China, 112 megawatt. So you can see the picture on the right. We have a stand supporter to assist our customers in unpacking solar modules. So this is also another project that we have developed in Japan. You can see the pallet itself can be transported by using the forklift with some additional measures, which we have detailed in our packing and unloading documents. And the module itself can be easily handled by 2 workers on site. And this is one project in Korea where we have also delivered our 20 series, the 600 watt modules. So because Trina Vertex modules is based on a low voltage, high current design, so we have also worked with different mainstream inverters manufacturers to have a compatible models. So you can see here most of the big inverter companies already have compatible models that will work with this low voltage, high current modules. So besides that, we have also worked with the various tracker companies, the top 14 suppliers, and ensure that there's a suitable design to use together with our large dimension modules. So for Trina, we have also come up with a website where customers can check on the inverter compatibility. So yeah, you can take down the website. You can take a look at it, and you can select the different power beam modules, the different scenario, and search for the appropriate brands of inverters that will be able to match with the selected modules. Overall, we have shipped more than 10 gigawatt of Vertex and still counting. In our pipeline, we have over 25 or 30 gigawatts of Vertex modules. So this has been installed and shipped all over the world, even in our ASEAN region. We have supplied to various projects in Thailand, Singapore, in Vietnam. So these are just some of the case studies that we have done before. So it can be installed on major industrial and industrial rooftops. And of course, this is standard ground-mounted projects where we can reap the most benefits from these high-power modules. And as mentioned, from the previous speakers, these high-power modules can also be used for floating projects, which is getting a lot of popularity in our region. Okay, so with that, I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for the very elaborate presentation, Mr. Lim. That was, it's truly an honor having you present on our event. I imagine Trina Solar, one of the world's leading brands for PV modules. And you will also be doing a special activity tomorrow, 11 a.m. For the breakout session. Okay. We are happy to to inform you that majority of the companies that that was requested would be joining, and we still have room for other participants. Okay, so I don't think there are any questions directed right now, but we'll definitely learn more about your products, expertise, and solutions tomorrow morning.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, again, guys, that was Mr. Lim Chongbun, Asia Pacific Head of Product and Marketing from Trina Solar. So moving on to our next speaker is coming from Jinlong Technologies Company Limited. Established in 2005, Solis is one of the most experienced and largest manufacturers of solar inverters. Jinlong's cost-effective solutions for residential, commercial, and utility-scale users deliver value at every level of the solar supply chain, engaging both homeowners and businesses, as well as power producers and renewable energy investors across the globe. Presented under the Solis brand, the company's solar inverter product line uses innovative string technology to deliver first-class reliability, validated under the most stringent international certifications. Our speaker is the Senior Technical Engineer from Jinlong Technologies Company Limited with a degree of a Bachelor of Engineering, Renewable Energy Engineering, and also completed a 3-month industrial training program with CRRC New Energy Technology at multiple processing lines. That's all. Give a warm welcome to Mr. Jefferson Zhu.
Hi, Ian. Thanks
Good
for the
afternoon,
introduction.
Jefferson. How are you?
Not bad. How's it going?
I'm doing well. We are surprisingly almost on time.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. You guys can see my screen?
It's loading now. There you go. Continue.
Okay, thanks. Okay, first, thanks for your introduction and for the event organizer. And today, I'm going to introduce our Solis brand and our Solis effective solutions for the commercial and the utility applications. So today, for my presentation, it mainly has 3 parts. First is our company profile. So who we are, what did we achieve financially, and what we achieved before. And the second part is our commercial and utility solutions. And the last part is our reliability. Personally, I think reliability is very important because especially for the commercial job, we don't want if anything happened for the system, it will a lot of money cost. So first part, our company profile. So who we are. Solis, we have focused on, it's a typo here. String inverter over 17 years. Our company is established in 2005, and we are one of the most experienced and the largest manufacturer of the solar inverters. Our complete new inverter production facility and including entire industry chain in 2009. And 2012, we have developed a joint academic workshop with Shanghai Jiao Tong University. In 2015, our equipment is installed at Alpha Tower, which is achieved by others, which is quite good. And our company, we have received the 6 consecutive years of the EUPD of the PV inverters from 2016 to 2021. And then we are also the first public chip company with a primary focus on the string inverters in 2019. And in 2021, our second manufacturer base has been put into operation. So company profile, we have a total asset over $819 million US. We have over 2,000 global employees and over 300 engineers from R&D team and the service team. So we have just like our engineer to provide that best service to you. Financially, we have 0 bank debt. This is our annual result from 2020. Unfortunately, 2021 is not ready yet. So, but I think this still can prove something. For our sales, it's increased $321 million US, which is 83% more. Our profit is increased up to $49 billion US. It is 1.5 times before, and also our sales are growing. So our script goes for the shipment. We have the lead in string inverter technology reached 20 gigawatts global shipment milestone. As I mentioned, our second manufacturer base is put into operation in 2021. It's cover over 100,000 square meters and it's already put into operation now. So also you can follow us on our social media. We have LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and email. And we have the brochure and some technical videos there as well. So if you're interested, you can follow us. So second part, our commercial and utility solutions. So what products do we have? First, I'm going to introduce our 5th generation commercial products. Here is the 2 series. One is from 25 to 40, and another one is from 80 to 100. You notice each series have 2 product chain. This is because S5 is our latest product, have the bigger DC allowance, input allowance, which is 16 amps. We compatible with the 182 panels and 10 panels, and also have the bigger IP rating class. So start from 25 to 40 kilowatts inverters. We have the maximum input current, the 13 of 16 amps, depends on which inverter. We have a DC to AC oversizing, it's 1.3 and up, or 3 or 4 MPPT design, depends on the size of the inverter, and each MPPT will have 2 pairs of the input. Maximum efficiency for EDC inverter is 98.8%. For the smart inverter, we have a string level monitoring, remote upgrade, integrate FE string scan, and it can support 24 hours consumption monitoring. And this is mainly for some small commercial sites or residential system. And for reliability, it has the natural convenience fanless design, optional anti-PID function, Type 2 SPD on both AC and DC, the optional AFCI function put in as well. And it's a fuel-less design, much easier to maintain. This inverter is on, no matter what the size is, it's 45 kilogram. It's very light, and also you can see the size here. It's very small as well. So for the 80 to 110 kilowatts inverter, the efficient, its maximum input current can be 13 or 16, depends on the inverter. And the oversizing size can be 1.3, which is can be maximum the performance and for the financial rebate as well. And can be 9 or 10 MPPT designs, depends on which inverter size, and have the maximum efficiency 99%, which is very high. Also, compared to the 24 to 40, the only difference for the smart part is the consumption monitoring, which is not unlikely to use just for this side of the inverter. For reliability, I have an optional anti-PID function, Type 2 SPD on both AC and DC, optional AFCI function, and I have the IP66 as the for the protection class. It's the best choice for the medium to large commercial system. And here is some scenarios, general scenarios for our inverters. For all our inverters, no matter which generation, 2G, second generation, 4th generation, or 5G generation, all of them can just like at one side, and all our accessory can support to just like wiring them together. It can be more flexible to design to existing customer or the new customer, and you will have which number of the capacity you want to achieve. For the monitoring part, so especially for currently for these days solar system, everyone need the remote monitoring. For our Wi-Fi dongle monitoring option, we have the Wi-Fi dongle or GPRS dongle or LAN dongle to support different kind of requirement. And for each one of them, plug into the inverter and do the settings, and you can add all the inverters onto the same plan. You can monitor all of them at once. Also, we have the data box option as well. For this one, it will require to use the IS-45 cable to wiring all the inverter together. Just it will be up to 10 inverters per box. You can have multiple boxes at one side. It has the Wi-Fi or GPS function options as well. So, and also for some cost-effective solutions, we have the PLC function monitoring box as well, which can integrate, our inverters integrate communication board generate the PLC signal. The PLC CCO convert to the IS-45. It's an optional function, but it can be save a lot of money. Since we have the cost-saving solutions, also I have to mention our inverter also support 2-in-1 connectors with white connectors to combine 2 strings connected to one input of the inverter, save cost of the DC cabling. Consider the following factor: more distributed inverter layout, white connector from 1 6mm square string from 2 4mm square string. It can be just like the overall DC wiring cost can be reduced around 20%. Also, another option is to use the AC cabling for the AC side to save the AC cabling cost. And for overall, just of course, you need to base on some estimate. So overall, we think the AC wiring cost can be reduced around 50%, which is a lot, like the half price cost. Also, our inverters support the acceleration or consumption monitoring, depends on which inverters. For our 25 to 40, it supports the consumption monitoring, and it will be flexible. Back for power can be 0 or any number you want to input. Easy to set up through our inverter LCD screen, or our so let's guarantee all our inverters will have a screen on it. And the dynamic input inverter output, limited output based on your house load. So you don't need to worry about this part. Also, sometimes we have the multiple inverters at one side and there is some weird number you want to achieve for the experimentation. We also have another product called EPM. Just EPM will work like the meter combined for the multiple inverters. So it will can just for the EPM-5G, it can support for up to 10 inverters. And if you have bigger than, we have the plus version for up to 80 inverters as well. So for the enhanced performance of the solution, the PID recovery, this will be automatically start when the PV aeration is low at night. It's a built-in solution. You don't need to cost more money, and it recovers the decoration as well. This is the best it can help for the system performance. Also for the safety solution, also it's AFCI function, because typically for the commercial project are rooftop system, factory, lab, office are often high value assets are often right below the PV panels. Potential fire risk will not only affect the PV system itself, but it can also lead to additional damage to the asset on building. Higher DC voltage plus more of the connection points, and any accident like damage or hail happen, it can cause the DC arc, which is quite dangerous. Also, currently there is no formal IEC regulator. Our inverters of the FCI function also gets certificate of the UL1699B. The certificates as well. This can just protect our your asset as well. So as I mentioned, we have our monitoring portal available as well. It's named the Solis Cloud. It has a lot of functions before. This is a 100% fully designed by our own entity. It can be with remote control, stream level monitoring, and IV curve scanning. It has a lot of functions. I highly recommend for our customer to use this portal now. Next one, it will be our 5th generation utility products. Is 255 kilowatts inverter, and the normal version and the plus version. So what's the difference between normal and the plus version? Plus version actually is better for the only difference is the DC input current allowance per stream, and also for the IP IP rating class. So for the 55 inverters, we have 14 or 12 MPPTs, depends on which inverters, can support up to 200% of the DC to AC ratio. It's compatible with a high power module and the bifacial modules as well. Support to continuous power output power at a high temperature capacity is 220 kilowatts at 50 degrees. For safety reliability, it's a fuel-less design. It can be safety maintenance free. IP66 protection class. It can be installed at outdoor installation or the harsh environment. It's integrated anti-PID recovery function and a higher quality components from leading industry brand from longer life cycles. Also, these inverters support stream level monitoring and IV curve scan that can be remote monitoring and upgrade as well. This is the best choice for utility of PV systems. Also, for here is some overall of the 6.3 megawatt system configuration. We also have the Solis 6.3 megawatts MV station available as well, which I will introduce later. And here is some diagrams you can have a look. Here is the single line diagram. You can see just like for this cabinet can have 28 of the inverters in total, and it's just like separate in two parts. We have the electricity will go through a low voltage cabinet A and go to a transformer and go to medium voltage switcher and go to the grid. Here is a solution estimate. The actual DC capacity for these products can be 9.5256 megawatts. The PV module we do design is 450 watts, and the PV module per string is 27. We use the temperature as below 10 degrees. DC inputs and inverter is 28 units. The MS transformer is 6.3 megawatts, and the DC to AC ratio is 1.2. So in the future, this is just a reference. In the future, if you have anything interested, contact our sales, we can do something for you. Also, here is a diagram for the cabinet. You can see just like the size is 2.9 multiple 2.4 and 6 meters in meters. The size is quite standard. Here is just like what's inside of this container. We have 28. It can be support 28 set of the Solis inverters, one transformer, and so this sizing. And also for the combination part, we have the PLC modular and the data logger as supplied as well. So last part is our reliability, which is quite important. And you can see how we determine the reliability of the inverter. The most easiest way is to base on the R&D expenditure. Our R&D expenditure has increased year by year. From 2019 to 2020, it's increased 1.2 times more. Just to give you some idea, our number used for R&D expenditure is in the million US dollars. So you can imagine how much more we spend on this one. And as I mentioned, here is some photos for our second manufacturing line. You can see everyone is wearing hat, wearing jacket. We're trying to build a dust-free environment, and we guarantee all our inverters is tested before shipment. Here is as I mentioned, we only use a level of the components, and here we are a German brand, US or Japan brand, and as I mentioned, 100% test before shipment. So which lead our test fail rate is very low. And all our inverters today and in the future will have a display screen on it. So it's much easier to do the design, it's configuration and for the monitoring purpose. Also, our inverter is the top of the range lifespan projection inverters category as a DNV-GL. After they've done all the several testings and they have a conclusion. Our inverters have more than 25 years lifespan, which is it's a long time. So our global service is around the world. Our head office is in China. We also have an office in Vietnam, mainland, and Australia, which I was based in. And also in the future, if you get any questions, you got any there's something you want to double check, you can always use for contact info to give us a sales, give us a call or send us an email. So we can always there to help. So thanks everyone. This is all for my presentation.
Thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us, Jefferson. I actually have a personal question. I'm not sure if this is covered by your expertise, but so many do-it-yourselves solar setup is emerging right now. So yeah, even on a on a home-based application. What are your thoughts on this? Like solar PV installation without the assistance of experts such as yourself.
I think it's just like for currently for the solar industry, everything has to develop and the technology is very good right now. I think, and also globally solar industry, so these products is getting more and more popular. I think, and also for example, I'm based in Australia. So in Australia, there is a lot of new standard come out and just like to guide the industry. So I think this is, of course, it's a good industry.
Yeah, because I understand that different countries may have some different regulations when it comes to these setups. But yeah, here in the Philippines, I think there are some small scales that they are able to purchase and some of this equipment over the counter. But I'm sure our friends from DOE and the other our viewers from the relevant authorities would be able to come up with some guidelines just for for safety.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Again, guys, that was Jefferson Su, a senior technical engineer from Jinlong Technologies, together with Solis Inverters. It's a pleasure having you present on our event, Jefferson, and we certainly hope that this won't be the last time you're going to do it.
My pleasure.
Okay. All right. So yeah, before we get to our next presenter, I would like to, of course, especially thank our supporters and sponsors. Without them, this won't be a huge success. As of the moment, we still have 347 participants on the Zoom platform. We were able to peak at 399 as far as I can remember earlier. So thank you very much for staying, guys. We certainly saved the best for last. We will have Attorney De Banadera, the chairperson of Energy Regulatory Commission, joining us a bit later. But before her presentation, like I said, I would like to especially mention our platinum sponsors, namely Goodby, your solar engine. It presented all the way from China. We also have SunGrow, Chint Global, PV, EasyRack, a Clenergy Technologies company. We also have Trina Solar, one of the world's leading brands for solar PV globally. We also had the pleasure of witnessing Mr. Kian Du Trong from Jinko Solar present us with their expertise earlier. Of course, Jefferson Su from Solis Inverters, together with the Jinlong Technologies Company Limited. Our gold sponsor, Growat, Photonergy, Sunways. Our documentation sponsor, Tongwei Solar. Our supporting companies, Season Power, Reason Energy, Innovare, together with Enerwise. Also, special shout out to our viewers right now, specifically Solar Energy, Philippines, AC Energy, Department of Energy, along with the Department of Science and Technology. Thank you guys for being a part of this significant event. We have viewers coming from the, of course, Energy Regulatory Commission, San Miguel Corporation, together with Global Power Holdings Corporation. We have audience coming from National Power Corporation, also from Aboitiz Power Corporation, Meralco and Empower General Corporation, DENR, Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Thank you for supporting us, ladies and gentlemen. Sun Asia Energy, DMCI from the private sector, NEDA, Urban and Rural Electric Cooperative, Razons Group and Prime Infrastructure, MRC Allied Incorporated. We also have viewers coming from First Bay Power Corporation, Solargy Systems Incorporated, Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, Unisolar Incorporated, National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, PVCNAG Power Incorporated, Energence Management and Consulting Corporation. We also have representatives coming from Solar Pacific Energy Corporation, Transnational Uyeno Solar Corporation, SM Investments Corporation, and LGUs coming from the city of Pasig, Quezon City, Muntinlupa, Vigan, Batangas, Iligan, Navotas, Baguio, Zamboanga, Bacolod, and Rizal, as well as our media partner, Power Philippines. Okay, so while we are waiting for Attorney Devanadera, just like to share with you the agenda for the day 2 of the Philippine Solar PV Energy Virtual Summit. We have the honor of having Senator Win Gatchalian. He is the chairperson for the Energy Committee, also running for a seat on the upcoming May 9 elections. And follow his presentation would also be followed by the Senior Policy and Finance Advisor of USAID Energy Secure Philippines, Ms. Claire Marie Yvonne Lee. And we also have the pleasure of having Attorney Jomar Castillo, who is the president of Fort Pilar Energy Incorporated, to share with us the plans and the challenges that the Philippine solar industry is going through as of the moment. Okay, we will also witness a presentation coming from the president of the Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, Mr. Leonido Pulido III. This should be a very interesting topic. He would be talking about the importance of latest technological innovation in improving output while reducing power regeneration costs. Okay, so yeah, we're very excited for that. We will have a special panel discussion also, which will cover members from the media. Moderated, this special panel discussion would be moderated by Ms. Mirna Velasco, who is the energy journalist coming from Manila Bulletin. Okay, and she will be joined together by Ms. Maria Militante, the Chief of Public Relations and Business Development from MRC Allied Incorporated. Okay, we also have Attorney Jomar Castillo, the President of Fort Pilar Energy, as well as Mr. Warren Lee, Head of Business Development from Jinko Solar, and last but not the least, from our lineup of panelists would be Mr. Patrick Pandillo. He is the Chief Operating Officer from Spectrum, which is a subsidiary of Meralco. We are very excited to have this level of all-star cast joining us in the panel discussion for the very first Philippine Solar PV Energy Virtual Summit. And we also have a special activity tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., which is a special breakout session with Trina Solar. Okay, if you are available during that time, you are free to join us for the breakout. You may use the same logins that you used earlier, but this time the rooms would be opening at around 10:45. Okay, in the morning, and then the breakout will be running for 30 minutes, and then we would give way before the start of our program for the video presentations of our, or rather video advertisements of our sponsors. Okay, so again, for those who would like to ask for the presentations and the slides of our speakers, I'm going to give you guys my email address via the chat box right now. If you have any requests, questions, concerns, or suggestions, you may email me directly. So please be nice. Okay, so yeah, it's just that we have to, of course, seek approval from the sponsors and the speakers if their slides are shareable. Okay, so yeah, I guess I gotta stop talking right now. Without further ado, let me introduce our next speaker. She was appointed by President Rodrigo Duterte to head the five-man Energy Regulatory Commission, or ERC, on November 22, 2017. A woman whose career track has crisscrossed the bureaucracy, starting as a local chief executive of an LGU to being at the helm of where she is now. No doubt an epitome of the working career women in the country, known for her many firsts. She was the first woman mayor of Sampaloc, Quezon, the first woman president of the Quezon Mayors League, the first woman national president of the League of Municipalities of the Philippines, the first woman lawyer from Quezon Province to be admitted to the New York Bar, United States of America, first woman government corporate counsel, first woman solicitor general, and first woman to be a full-fledged secretary of justice. Let's all welcome Attorney Agnes de Vanadera.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lim, and good afternoon to everybody and to members of the energy community. My presentation today is on connecting solar energy to grid and to end users, and how we can do an augmentation of our grid so that we can have the stability, and this can pave the way to the service of all the Filipino households and families. So let's have our next slide, please. Okay, as you will see in our slide now, this was prior to the enactment of the Renewable Energy Act, and it shows that at that time, prior to the enactment, we only had 1 megawatt solar energy, and that was in Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental, which is in Mindanao. So we had that solitary, lonely 1 megawatt capacity solar in Mindanao, and that represents the entire Philippines. And so it was good that we had the Republic Act 9513, which is really the Renewable Energy Act of 2008. And this definitely paved the way for the development and the push of the renewable energy in the Philippines. This was enacted and signed into law on December 16, 2008. Of course, the objectives that we had for the passage of this law is to accelerate the exploration and development of the RE resources, and to have effectively prevent or reduce the harmful emissions. We also needed to establish this infrastructure and mechanisms, and we had to increase the renewable energy utilization. These are the major components of the RE Act of 2008. And so, as we will see, the development of the solar energy is shown here, and we have emphasized that at the start we only had a 1 megawatt power plant, and with the enactment, the growth of the solar really overtook even the other RE technologies which we have been developing in the Philippines. So you will see that the geothermal, the hydro, biomass, and wind have all been overtaken by solar once we had the enactment of the law. Next, please. And so this gave emphasis to the this gave emphasis to the environmental concern and increased social responsibility among the Filipinos, because as we're showing on our slide, in terms of reducing carbon emission and generating jobs for the Filipino people, based on the study conducted by the Department of Energy, a total of 3,598,867 tons of CO2 emission were reduced from 2009 to 2019. So, and likewise for the same period, 168,418 jobs were generated by this renewable energy projects. Next, please. And we can show now that in this installation, we are showing here how the development of the solar PV installation progressed and kicked in as we brought in the rules and the framework, the regulatory framework, which ERC is mandated to do. And so as early as 2010, ERC already started the groundworks for the development of the FIT regulatory framework in view of the mandate in the RE Act. It actually developed the FIT rules, the FIT all payment, and the collection guidelines, the templates of the renewable energy payment agreement, and of course the renewable energy supply agreement. And then we also, ERC, likewise amended the COC rules. The FIT was finally implemented in 2014, and you will see here the drastic increase in solar installation from the low of 22 megawatts in 2014, plus the 87.97 megawatts in 2015, increased the additional capacity of 374.68 megawatts in 2016. Definitely, the FIT regime has successfully encouraged the solar development in the country. And also, we have seen how fast the installation targets have been subscribed. Another fiscal incentive that the ERC was able to operationalize at the early stage is the net metering, which started on July 9, 2013. However, the amended certificate of compliance rules, which covers the net metering installation, was promulgated in September 15, 2014. Thus, it was able to kick in only in 2015. Here, the ERC saw a slow growth in the net metering installation, and thus in 2019, ERC amended the net metering rules so that we will be able to streamline the processes and remove the administrative barriers that were showing to be hindrance in the successful implementation of the net metering program. Thus, in 2021, we saw, we already saw the increase in what it has attained from a very, very slow growth to it has kicked in. Now we're seeing now that what we need really to do now is to be able to increase our IEC and to make sure that we have reached all those future participants and those who have started to inquire into the installation of the net metering program. Next, please. Now, just to show you the statistics on the solar facilities that we have granted in ERC the certificate of compliance or COCs, and at times they are granted the provisional authority to operate or POWs because of certain shortcomings in their compliance to the requirements. You will see here that as of today, there are a total of 63 solar plants commercially operating with a total capacity of 1,419 megawatt peak or MWP. Moreover, there are 164 solar self-generating facilities with a total total capacity of 71 megawatts peak. We also have the 5,716 solar installation of the qualified net metering end users. And now we have attained a capacity of 47 megawatts peak. So clearly, the solar can now compete with the rest of the technologies. As we said, that the solar has overtaken even the other technologies which were there even ahead of solar. Next, please. So what are the drivers for the solar development or to accelerate the solar development, and which really accelerated? So the first is the feed-in tariff system, which I mentioned and showed in the previous slide. It has really kicked off the development of the solar. In fact, as we said, the installed capacity was actually completed, availed of in so short a time. And then we have the power supply agreement, because can we go to the next slide? Oh, okay. For the feed-in tariff, we have shown that with the promulgation of the FIT system in July 2010, pursuant to RA 9513, that mandated ERC to come up with it. We were in consultation with NREM to formulate and promulgate the feed-in tariff system. The law also requires that solar should be given priority connection to the grid, as well as priority purchase and transmission and payment for such electricity by the grid system operators. So these are the things that really gave the solar a very hard push. Now, there were two rounds of the feed-in tariff. The first round was for an installation target of 50 megawatts with an approved rate of 9.68 pesos per kilowatt hour. And there were 6 solar plants that made to this round with a total capacity of 67.60 megawatts. The second round was really for an additional 450 megawatts installation target for the FIT rate of 8.69 kilowatt hour. There were 17 solar plants that made to this round with a total capacity of 417.05 megawatts. And if we will see, take note that from the first round to the second round, the FIT rate went down by 10%. So the total capacity for the first and second actually amounted to or reached 484.65 megawatts. So next, please. Because the solar has attained a certain degree of maturity already. Next. The power supply agreement also has become a vehicle and has given a push for this. Actually, there were a lot of takers already by this time, and by the time that the Department of Energy has already come up with a competitive selection process, and because the solar has reached grid parity, they already participated. The solar developers already participated in our competitive selection process as right now. In fact, we have about 20 rate cases being processed. The table there will show that the solar PSAs, with the approval of the commission, 7 out of 10 have already their final authority, and 1 with provisional authority, and 2 have already their interim relief. So the record shows that the range of rates for solar is from 2.99 to 8.75 pesos per kilowatt hour. So it started, of course, the rate was high initially, and then it went down. But right now, the rate is 2.99, and with an escalation rate, it's about 3 pesos plus. So this is what competition has done insofar as the rate of solar is concerned. The FIT, of course, came up with a much higher rate, but that was to provide incentive. Now it has the solar has become very competitive, and now we go to the net metering. As before, well, the net metering is a consumer-based renewable energy incentive scheme, and whereas everybody before was a consumer, now the same electricity users are not just consumers, but they also are now called prosumers if they enroll in the net metering, because aside from the fact that they get their electricity from the distribution utility in the area, they likewise produce electricity from the solar panel installed in their houses, and so they are both producer and consumer. And the net is usually they have more than what they need. They produce more than what they need, and therefore the excess is being exported to the distribution utility in this area. There are the qualified end users are those entities that generate power from eligible on-site RE facility, such as house or office building with photovoltaic system. Of course, needless to say, their electric meter is definitely different, because it must be able to capture what goes into the house and what is exported out of that house or facility. And now, again, as you will see, the net metering as of December 31, 2021, there are 5,716 qualified end users under the net metering program, with a total capacity of 46.729 kilowatt peak. Over the years since the net metering and was implemented, there is an increase in both the number of qualified end users and the capacity under net metering, which is a clear indication that the net metering program is a success. However, that's not all that we saw and we learned from the net metering program. It is likewise a system of empowering our electric consumers, because then they are able to provide and produce instead of just consuming the electricity. It is an empowering program. And Also, the housing sector has become involved in the net metering, with no less than the financial institutions of the government incorporating or factoring the solar panels into the cost of the house, and therefore the cost of the solar panels are actually now financed together with the housing project, and the repayment is spread over the years. So this is the reason why we're saying that the net metering is really an empowering program for our people. Next, please. Still on net metering, the slide will show that the concentration of the net metering installations is in Luzon, with 72% of the total capacity, and the 23% in the Visayas, and the remaining 5% is in Mindanao. There is so much to be done when it comes to IEC, or so that more and more people can participate, and more distribution utilities will be able to participate in this kind of program. We have streamlined even the way, the application and the action that how the distribution utilities must act and process. Next, please. So still on net metering, and this is how many the participants are, and we are hoping that we will have more. We are also targeting within the year the net metering in off-grid areas. And the rules are, we are starting to do the rules. Next, please. Now we also have the solar home system. And the solar home system is something that is made available in areas where they are not reachable through physical connection. And it comes as a package. And this is a program that has been initiated by NEA, the National Electrification Administration. However, the regulatory framework has to be enacted by ERC. And thus on July 18, 2017, the ERC promulgated a resolution setting the methodology and the initial benchmark tariff for regulated solar home system as electricity service by the electric cooperatives. There are different rates approved for different sizes and zones, as shown in our table there. And there are, again, this program is intended to address the very far areas. And as we all know, the Philippines is composed of 7,000 islands, and within the islands there are still islets, so they are not reachable. And we have to be grateful that some people came up with this, and thank you, NEA, for pushing something like this. Again, please. Next, please. Okay, so this is what we have now for our solar home system. This data is based on NEA's records, and the implementation of the project started in the last quarter of 2017. And there are 3,000 more remaining units for for the pilot project of NEA. Now, the importance of this in relation to the pandemic will be an understatement if say they need it, because with the pandemic, everything is being done online. And so the solar home system, while it did not include situations like the pandemic, as it was not something that was in the radar screen. Now it serves the purpose more than the purposes that was initially envisioned. Again, please. So what are the future drivers for the solar energy? Well, we have identified the future drivers as follows: the Green Energy Auction Program, the Green Energy Option Program, the Distributed Energy Resources Rules, and the Microgrid Systems Act, which was very recently signed into law by the President. So let's go and see the future drivers. Let's see first the Green Energy Auction Program. As the department, this is initiated by the Department of Energy, and DOE has already determined the competitive bidding process under the GIAP. And it is one of the best ways to accelerate the development of renewable energy systems and the promotion and commercialization of its applications, so that we can encourage free and active private sector participation and investment in all energy activities, and provide adequate capacity to meet the demand, including reserve requirements. We cannot motivate the private sector to get into this if they will not be given the framework for the opportunities, and also the opportunity, of course, for them to earn. So DOE has already published the notice of auction, which was done on February 9, 2022, with the total target capacity of 2,000 megawatts. And the total target capacity for solar is 1,260 megawatts, and 900 megawatts of which is allotted for Luzon, 200 for Visayas, and 100 for Mindanao. So ERC has already will be promulgating and has until April 9, 2022 to promulgate the rules, because the law provides that we should be able to promulgate that not later than 60 days after the publication of the notice of auction. Next, please. And I suppose DOE may have discussed this more in details. Now we have the Green Energy Option Program, and the GIAP is a voluntary policy mechanism that provides the electricity to our end users with the 100 kilowatt and above demand. And this is really, they will be allowed to choose the RE resources as their source of energy. And we're saying that these options have been made available to end users, so that this will also contribute in the development and utilization of the RE resources. As mandated, it should be in the least cost and in a sustainable manner. So if there are more users, then of course, this will be an acceleration and development of the solar. And so we have the RE suppliers, and they must secure their retail electricity. Now, we have made a list of the RE suppliers under the GIOP. And right now we have 17. And these 17 are ready and have prepared for these opportunities. Now, next please. The Green Energy Option Program. Now we have the potential end users under the GIOP, and we have identified that already. So we have the electric cooperatives, and we have the private distribution utilities, we have the eco zones, and we have NGCP itself that can avail of this as end users. under the GEO. And this is based on the data gathering that we have, and with a total, with a potential of 9,387 end users with a total capacity of 3,342.13 megawatts under the GEO. Hopefully, this opportunity for the solar industry will be maximized, and so we can contribute and address the demand under this program. Now, the distributed energy resources rules, we have the rules, of course, governing the ownership and operation of DER, and we target the promulgation of the rules within the year. The proposed DER rules, it has been more or less put together by our consultant, and it looks that we will be able to provide enabling mechanisms for the solar developers so that they will be able to provide supply to qualified end users, both for the on-grid and off-grid areas. There are just a few more steps left, and one of which is the presentation to the commission, because now the consultants have already packaged it. But all this, we still lack something, and it's good that we have the new law already enacted, RA 11646, which is the Microgrid Systems Act. This will definitely accelerate the electrification, and this RA, we are intending, it is intended that both the unserved and underserved areas all over the country will be within the reach with a establishment and development of the microgrid systems under this act. And we also are looking forward that there will be such participation, active and substantial participation from the private sector. And hopefully we will be able to provide the competitive environment so that the different kinds of energy sources will be available. And of course, we need to prioritize the low cost and the indigenous and renewable and environment friendly sources of energy. Putting up the solar facilities in these areas is one of the fastest and easiest way to achieve 100% total electrification in the countryside. However, as I said, the law has just been signed, and the IRR has not been issued yet. There is an interagency that has been organized, and hopefully the IRR will soon be promulgated. Now, the Microgrid Systems Act spelled out the powers and functions and responsibilities of ERC. Again, it will be an exercise of the quasi-judicial powers of ERC and the rate-making power or the rule-making power. Now we go to the other aspect or of the topic, which is how grid augmentation and stability can pave the way to serve most Filipinos. As we have seen, the development of solar, the development of RE for that matter, is continuously on the rise with the new rules, the new laws, and more interest from the private sector. We can see that there will be a big push for the development of solar. And so we expect the sharper increase in installations. Given this and the challenges in integrating renewable energy in the grid, there is a need to ensure grid stability to make sure that quality of electricity is maintained. And next, please. And so we have and we come to the codes and standards. And this we cannot but talk, because this is something that's a very important factor. We have to discuss the variable renewable energy of the VRE generating facility. And with the advent of increasing installation capacity of solar, the Commission issued the following rules already. We have the Philippine Small Grid Guidelines. We have the amended Philippine Grid Code, although we continue to have the amendments, the amended Philippine Distribution Code, and we also continue to have the amendments, and we have the monitoring of the variable renewable energy generating facilities performance. Let's recall that the solar system is a variable renewable energy because of its intermittency, and the intermittency or fluctuation disrupts the stability and reliability of the grid. So we covered it through resolutions. Okay. Well, these are actually, it's in summation, these are the ERC issuances that provide the framework, and that provide the issuances also provide, of course, the rules. Now, the 2016 PGC, it's really addresses and provides the framework for the grid or transmission system. And we have established and documented the basic rules, the requirements, the procedures, the standards that govern the operation, maintenance, and development of the high voltage backbone transmission system of the Philippines. The Philippine Grid Code also is intended to be used along with the market rules of the wholesale electricity spot market, or WESM, to ensure the safe, reliable, and efficient operation of the grid. The PGC was updated to include the adoption and full implementation of the connection and operational requirements for the VRE generating facilities, and to harmonize with the existing rules and regulations issued by the DOE and ERC. And by the way, this is a continuing activity and effort for both the DOE and ERC, which is really to harmonize, considering that the stakeholders continue also to submit their proposals. Now, for the Philippine distribution system, we have the PDC of 2017, and this is again the other technical code that will complement the PGC. This code again established the basic rules and procedures that govern the operation, maintenance, development, connection, and use of electric distribution systems in the Philippines. And also it includes the adoption of new and emerging technologies, including VRE. The rules, I must admit, cannot remain static, because the development of technologies are even faster than the rules that the governments come up with. So we really have to look into also into our rule making processes. Now, we have many times, aside from the rules, we have to come up with resolutions, because resolutions are faster to come up with. And so like for example, in monitoring the variable renewable energy, for the generating facilities performance. Instead of looking at rules, we right away came up with a resolution, so that we don't need to review all the rules and be able to address a particular situation. We we are encouraging in coming up with resolutions more than coming up with review of the rules and amending existing rules. There are times that we just have, this is the best way to encourage the VRE generating facilities to perform better and to address their problems in a faster way, so that thereby reducing their outages and achieve greater operational efficiency. This can be done by determining the reliability performance of BRE generating facilities that may later on be used in setting performance standards. It is very important for the regulator to be up to standards in addressing all these things that we get to see as we get to implement. Right now, there are so many emerging technologies, and rules we cannot afford to have rules to be in their static status. So what should we expect from the regulators? We still have, as I said, everything is evolving and quite fast. We have to come up with the rules and regulations for ancillary services, which are responsive with VRE technologies. We also have to look into the revisions and amendments on the existing Philippine small grid guidelines. And we are right now looking into the regulatory framework for energy storage system. The battery energy storage system complements with solar. And if there are excess energy from solar, this will be stored in the battery and can be used during nighttime when solar is no longer producing. Aside from that, battery can also be used to stabilize the grid from the fluctuation brought about by the intermittent nature of the solar and the wind technologies. These regulations are meant to complement what are already in place for safer and reliable grid with the capability to take on more renewable energy. And in closing, we would like to put emphasis that ERC as a regulator is not here just to come up with rules, is not just here to regulate and to police the industry, but we would rather be considered as enablers, because if we remain to be the static regulator, then there will never be a chance for us, for ERC, to capture and to be able to facilitate and fast track and address the needs of emerging technologies. So from the mind set of being a mere regulator, we would like to come up and go to the paradigm shift of being an enabler. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much for the very detailed presentation, Attorney De Banadera. It's truly an honor to have someone of your stature come and present and explain to our viewers the regulations being issued by the ERC and what the solar industry in the Philippines would likely experience in the near future. Okay, so yeah, Ms. Agnes, do you have time for one question?
Oh, sorry. One question. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, just one question. It's coming from Mr. Ray Digamo. He is the regional director of DENR Region 10. He wants to know. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mr. Digamo, but he wants to know the challenges why, despite the several environmental compliance certificates already issued to proposed solar power projects in Region 10, only one is operational. And what are the challenges, and how can we hasten the development of the solar energy production?
Well, in some areas, the challenge is to secure the ECC from DNR. But the participant is saying, the director is saying that it's the other way around. DNR Region 10 issues the ECC, or probably the permit to operate, and yet the establishment of the solar facilities is not as fast. In fact, there's just one. How I wish I know more details, but on the project, and so we can determine the hindering factors that prevent the whoever is. I'm sure it's a private sector, or is it an EC? So because the challenges for the ECs and the challenges for the private sector are quite different. So I don't know. I'm not so, because the question is as vague as that. We cannot with certainty point out what are the hindering factors. But it would be very interesting for the ERC to find out the hindering factors, why despite the issuance by DENR of the permit, there is no establishment or construction yet. And as I said, in other regions, it's the other way around. The facility has been constructed, and yet their permit to operate, or ECC, has not been issued. So let's, well, anyway, Director, you can get in touch with us if you have the details, and we can help whoever is the investor so that we can have a push on the development of the solar energy, solar facility in your region. Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go. Again, that was Engineer Rhea Digamo from DENR Region 10. You heard it directly from Attorney Devana Dera. If you have more details, you can reach out to them directly, and as she said, they'll be more than happy to accommodate that. So again, Attorney Agnes, we do hope that you would still be able to accommodate us despite your extremely busy schedule for the for our future events. But nonetheless, we are very happy and thankful that you were able to join us with the very first edition of the Philippine Solar PV Energy Virtual Summit. Okay, guys. So again, Attorney Devana Dera is the chairperson of the Energy Regulatory Commission, and she's also the last presenter for the day. We had a very interesting interactions, topics, questions that was raised during all the presentations, and we could not thank you enough for being for being so friendly to one another. Just to summarize, the first day of the event, we were opened by a pre-recorded message by ASEC Red De Lola from the Department of Energy, followed by Mr. Escobar to provide us with the guidelines for the Green Energy Auction Program in the Philippines, and also Mr. Jimmy Planas from the DOE provided us with his insights as well, which was followed by the presentations of our sponsors, namely Goodby, SunGrow Power, Jinko Solar, Trina Solar, Asia Pacific, Jinlong Technologies, together with the solar inverters. And last but not the least, what you just witnessed, the very precise presentation of Attorney Agnes Devana Dera from the ERC, or the Energy Regulatory Commission. We would like to thank everyone who stayed up until this stage of the event. And of course, we would like to mention we would like to thank everyone that I haven't mentioned, and we are looking forward seeing you again tomorrow. The agenda starts at 1:30, same time. We would be using the same logins that you used earlier. And if you are free at 11 a.m., we have a special activity, a breakout session with one of our major sponsors at Trina Solar. And yeah, on behalf of My Car Events, we would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners. Without you guys, this event won't be a success, namely Goodly, SunGrow Power, Chint Global, PV Easy Rack, together with the Clenergy Technologies Company, Trina Solar, Jinko Solar, Solis Inverters, together with Jinlong Technologies, Growwatt, Photonergy, Songway Solar, our documentation sponsor, our supporting companies coming from Season Power, Risen Energy, Innovare, together with Enerwise. On behalf of My Car Events, my name is Ian, and together with the hard-working staff of this successful virtual event, namely Daniel Kim, Yar Suarez, Catherine Magana, Clark Bagaypo, Arian Gapangada, Shaina, Valera, Leo, and Gab, and especially to Richard. Thank you very much. Chad, get well soon. We miss you here, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Stay safe, guys.
And we are
What's it like to empower? It's the rays of the sun shining on solar panels that light up our homes in the dark. It's the breeze that propels wind turbines that keep businesses rolling. It's the water that flows through dams and gives life to communities. It's the heat that feeds us, especially in our time of need. It's the fuel that keeps our economy going. It's making sure that the energizing message gets to you. Empowering a community is about making things bright through spreading awareness, drilling for ideas leading to innovations, and initiating conversations that spark the nation. We are the wires that connect you to the sources of power and to the means of empowerment. We link members of the community to content that initiates discourse. We switch on and hope for meaningful exchanges, making the nation enlightened and empowered. We are Power Philippines.